everyone. Welcome to another weekly reading right here on my channel, Rissa Vibes, aka Readings by Rissa, here to deliver a new setup of energy and experience that we're going to navigate for this week. How are you feeling? We are in the midst of the Shining Light on Holistic Healing event. How are you enjoying it? Have you been watching this segment so far? Are you just now tuning in for the first time? How are you feeling? Let me know in the comments and let me know where you're tuning in from. I'm super excited to tap into the energy of this week. This, of course, is going to be a culmination of the spiritual messages and downloads that I received from my guides and from the Mass Collective energy as I tap into it, as well as the astrological influences that we have going on this week. So we're going to be covering today, October 18th to October 25th, next Sunday, where we'll be meeting again for a brand new weekly reading at 1:11 p.m. Central Time, also known as 11:11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So we always tap into the divine energy with the synchronicity of the time and numbers. And I'm hoping that you're feeling that synchronicity right now in your life as well, because there's so much energy going on right now in regards to the cosmic energy, the energy of our own Mass Collective, and the energy of the 1010 portal that we're in still and continuing to move into as we continue to thin the veil between the physical world and the spiritual world. So again, my name is Rissa Vibes. I am an intuitive and professional intuitive coach, and I help spiritually curious people like yourselves navigate their enlightenment journey. I do this via these weekly readings every week, several different workshops and events that I host as well virtually. And I also provide one-on-one coaching and mentoring for those of you who want an elevated experience in support and guidance and this just energy of having the comfort of having a mentor and coach during your enlightenment journey. Because when you're developing your intuition, it can be something that is so heart opening. It can kind of shake you up in a lot of ways. It can shake your life up in a lot of ways, all for the better, but still such a transformation. And I really enjoy providing that one-on-one support for people who are interested in taking it to the next level in that way. So if that's you, definitely reach out to me. You can check on all of the weekly readings that I've posted so far. In the description, there is a link to schedule a free consultation call where you will be able to meet with me to discuss the program options and see which one is best for you. So definitely, if you're considering coaching, if you really are ready to invest in yourself in coaching and you're really ready to take your enlightenment journey to the next level, then definitely reach out. But we're here right now to talk all about the weekly energy. Let me know how you're feeling. Oh my gosh, we've got so many people here. We've got Luminous Orchids. Luminous Orchids. Ooh, I love that. Joining from Austin. Beautiful. Nico's here. What's up, Nico? Jasmine's here as well. Good afternoon. Stressful morning. Well, we've got lots to talk about that is going to help you through that. And you've got this whole holistic healing event all throughout the day to de-stress and relax you. So what a perfect timing for that. Lisa's here as well. Good to see you. Super far away, Apache Junction. Yes, that is far from us. Marie is here as well. Good to see you. Natalie's here. Penny's here. Black Diamond's here. PJ's here. Leslie's here. Everybody joining right now. Oh, so good to see all of you. I hope you're enjoying the holistic healing event so far. We are shining light on holistic healing all day. We had a sound bath to open up from Monique this morning. Then we just heard Molly's amazing story about her holistic healing journey as well. And now we're here for the weekly reading, and we've got so much more planned. After this, we're going to go into part 1 of the roundtable discussion with all of the holistic healers I've brought forth for this event, talking about holistic healing and what is most important to really understand about it, which is going to be such a beautiful conscious conversation to witness. And then we'll have a mental health lecture from Chad, the Smooth Shaman, and that will be amazing. And then we will also have an herbalist, beautiful Cassandra from Rooted Earth Apothecary. We'll be talking about herbs and her holistic journey with herbs. And then we will end up having a beautiful visualization by me live where we'll be talking about self-healing and also experiencing it through a visualization meditation that I will be guiding. And then finally, We're going to end the evening with a beautiful breathwork and shamanic journey ceremony from Ksenia, closing ceremony. And that is going to be super powerful. You do not want to miss any of the things leading up. So if you need an exact schedule of the times of each event, go ahead and check out the community tab of this YouTube channel. You can just go to the homepage and then click community, and you'll see the full schedule posted on there. That way you can really know what time it is, and all the times are going to be posted in Mountain Standard Time. So just do your little calculations on the time based on where you're tuning in from. Okay. All right, everybody, so let's go ahead and dive in. I'm so excited to talk about this week. This is October 18th to October 25th, and this is the week where we're really gearing up for the thinning of the veil for the end of the week, or the end of the month. We had the 1010 portal in the beginning, really allowing us to start to open up that connection to the spirit world. And as that has developed, we've had the veil thinning and thinning and thinning even more. And then once Halloween hits, the week of Halloween, that 25th to the end of the month, we're going to feel such a potency in that connection to the spirit world. So we're really gearing up for that. And we're going to feel the intensity of our intuition, the intensity of our connection to spirit, and the intensity of our ability to feel energy around us and within us. So we may feel a little sensitive during this time. You may feel a little bit, caught off guard with the energy that you're experiencing. So if you are, this holistic healing event is so perfect for you, because it's really going to provide you so many different modalities to help de-stress, to calm the body, calm the mind, and calm the spirit. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to do a review first of last week, so we know what cards we pulled last week and kind of get a feel for where we're launching off from. So last week we had the Earth Force card in the beginning of the week, and this was really allowing us to channel the energy of Mother Gaia, to connect with Mother Gaia, to hold and comfort and listen and feel Mother Gaia, and to also allow ourselves to hold, comfort, listen, and feel our bodies as the earth vessels that they are. And then the middle of the week card, we had the Lovers card, encouraging us to really get connected to our sense of love within and outside of us, and to come together in that union of love, and to really explore wherever we're at in that journey. And then the end of the week, to balance it out from the Earth Force card in the beginning of the week, we had the Body Care card at the end of the week. And that was all about really connecting us to our ability to take care of our body, to really cleanse if we need to cleanse, to move if we need to move, to heal if we need to heal, and to really focus on nurturing the body in whatever way we can, knowing that our body is the representative of our material experience, and that when we can use our spiritual intuition to listen to the physical aspects of ourselves, we balance that beautiful connection between spirit and matter, becoming the 1010 portal in its own way. And then at the end, we also had the Wishful Expectations card. That was for the new moon in Libra that we had on Friday. And it really was all about manifestation. What do you want? What are you expecting? Are you expecting with a positive vibration? Are you expecting abundance and success? And how can you step into that? Because we have the power to manifest it. So that's where we're launching off from right now. And we're going to integrate all of that energy from the Libra new moon. So let me know a little bit about how your Libra new moon has been last week. And, since it's the weekend and since it was just on Friday, moon energies stay with us for 2 to 3 days before and after the moon. So you're probably still feeling a lot of that Libra new moon energy, and we're going to be integrating it. And when we talk about integration, what I'm talking about is the ability to really get adapted to the energy shifts that have occurred recently. So, when I say we're integrating the energy of the Libra new moon, we're getting really comfortable, familiar, and we're adapting to, we're alchemating to the energy that shifted within us and outside of us because of that Libra new moon. So we integrate in a lot of ways. We integrate healing, we integrate activations from a cosmic level, we integrate forgiveness, we integrate so much. So whenever you hear about integration, just imagine yourself getting acclimated to whatever energy or whatever thing you're integrating. It's allowing yourself to have that phase of connection and development and really emerging into a complete union with whatever energy that was that you're integrating. So as we step into the spirit messages this week, these are the messages that I receive from meditations, from my guides, from downloads, from readings that I do, from energy of the mass collective that I feel that helps us understand what's coming up for next week. So the first message is about integration. It's integration of duality in a balanced form. Now that seems like a little bit of a paradox because it is, but that's part of the experience that we have with this Libra full moon or this Libra new moon integrating into our bodies, because Libra is about balancing the scales, but it's also holding two extremes opposite of each other. So there's a dualistic aspect and there's a balancing aspect. And it's really about appreciating the spectrum, appreciating everything on the ends and everything in between, and allowing ourselves to find where we're landing in that spectrum every day and figure out where the dualistic energy is and how we can find balance, how we can find a middle space. And so we're integrating that right now. So you may have felt some extreme emotions, maybe some really deep lows or some really high highs or some really dark aggressive anger or some really light free spirited energy. And in that, you may have felt all of it up and down, right? Highs and lows, mood swings. And if you did, that was really your physical body expressing the way your emotional body was reacting to the Libra new moon and the way in which it's trying to balance itself spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally. And that is the holistic healing method that we have available to us, that we can really use holistic healing to find those balancing aspects to our extremes. So what a perfect time for this event today. If you've been feeling some mood swings, highs and lows, or just some big spectrum energies, this is a perfect time to really get clear on that. And I encourage you to feel it in your body. Where is it showing up? How is it showing up? How are you expressing and reacting to it? I talked last week about making sure that you respond with the right vibration to things. And we've been talking for the past 3 weeks or so about relaxing and not reacting, that we want to not create a combustion of energy or a combative energy in our response. We want to respond with peace and with grace and with thought and wisdom instead of reacting to something with a fire or an irritated energy. And so this is really how we're integrating. So you may feel a lot of those extremes, but know that those extremes are showing you where balance is needed. And as you get aware and wise on that, and you reflect on that and really face those truths, you're able to create the balance from moving into the opposite direction, using its dualistic energy, its opposite, to find balance from that extreme you're experiencing, okay? Let me know if that makes sense, because this is really important for you all to grasp in this time right now that we're in. And so, of course, like I said, it's about accepting the full spectrum, honoring all the emotions, knowing that that intense anger that you might have felt the other day was showing you that there's a trigger that is underneath the surface that has been sparked and poked at, and that it's going to need some kind of attention, some kind of love, some kind of healing, some kind of cleansing to find balance. And that your spirit was able to show you that through that anger outburst. Or if you felt some deep depression this week or incredible stress, those things were showing you what triggers are in that area and how to start to move in the other direction based on wise reflection and intuitive reflection of that. And so this is really about accepting it all and knowing that it's all beautiful. And if you are neutral, if you are feeling completely numb and bland, then that's also an opportunity for you to see what triggered that numbness. Is it because you're needing to just be in a reflective, still state, and you need to surrender to that so that you can move through the integration phase with grace? Or are you numb because you're uninspired, because you haven't been in an environment or triggered or stimulated an energy within you that allowed you to feel creative or excited or exhilarated? or sparked, your soul sparked, right? So feel into wherever you land on the spectrum and know that wherever it's at, it is helping you, because that numb neutral place could be helping you move with grace through your journey, or it could be pinpointing the need for you to start integrating more passion and joy and things that stimulate you in a positive way into your life, okay? So learning how to accept it all and knowing that it's beautiful no matter what. We're balancing out the extremes that way, because when we can relax into the extremes and know that they are serving a purpose and then really use them as tools to find harmony and balance, we can really just enjoy that, and we can really utilize it for what it's for. And sometimes, you know, something I've noticed that Spirit's kind of bringing forth right now as well is that sometimes the extremes are necessary. Sometimes those extremes are really helping you set a boundary that has been needing to be set for a while. Or sometimes those extremes are really helping you to get to the depth of something that you haven't been facing or haven't been healing from or dealing with in a while, that you've been pushing under the rug. You know, and sometimes those extremes, you know, the joyful extremes are really helping you to get into a place of complete high vibration and connection to spirit. But I will say that even sometimes in those high extremes, they can end up needing incredible balance as well. Because if we stay that way for too long, we can start to kind of get disconnected from the balance of reality, from our body, from the energy that we're meant to also interact with on a other vibrational scale or a different essence of the spectrum, because all of it is important. All of it is important. We don't want to stay in one part of the spectrum forever. We want to enjoy the beautiful display of it, just like a piano and its keys. We don't want to just play the same key. That would be boring, and it would just be annoying after a while. No matter how beautiful the key may be, that key is going to get burnt out. It's going to have a problem. It's going to get, a little bit weird. We want to play the entire piano, right? We want to enjoy the beauty of it. We want to enjoy the sound that we can make when we blend different parts of the piano together, and when we appreciate all the ways that each key is beautiful and resonant in our lives and necessary in our lives, okay? So really powerful analogy there to help you really recognize the importance of appreciating the spectrum, all right? And balancing it when it's needed. So part of this is also our shadow work and void space coming to the light. So a lot of us have been feeling maybe some things that we haven't wanted to face coming up in our life, or things that we've tried to hide from ourselves or ignore, or just pretend weren't that big of a deal. This is the shadow. This is the things that make us really have to sit down and be real with ourselves, have to check ourselves. And a lot of you may be experiencing things in your life, circumstances, relationships, inner energy, inner emotions, thoughts, environments that are just causing some serious awareness on what is necessary to see and face so that you can move through it. And it's not always comfortable. These are things like when we maybe are manipulative to others for our own gain, or maybe when we're not great at listening or being present with someone we care about, or when we're, going through some healing, but we're trying to avoid it and pretend like it's not saying that this needs healed, when we're trying to tough our way through something that we know we actually need to surrender to. These are parts of our shadow, and this can also be holding secrets, hiding things, when we're not being completely honest and genuine, especially right now, because we've got the Mercury Retrograde in Scorpio, and Scorpio is all about hiding things, or just being kind of in the dark, or being a little mysterious and shadowy. And so we are also moving into Scorpio season soon. And so we're going to feel more of that kind of showing up, and we're actually moving into it this week. So we're going to really notice that energy, and it's going to be important for us to see. So shadow work and void space. So do your shadow work. If you're seeing those kind of things surface in your life, don't ignore them. Don't push them away. Don't try to keep hiding them or, pushing them under the rug. Face it by journaling about it, by being honest with yourself and really contemplating it, by talking to a friend that you know can be really real with you and help you process it, that you trust, and that always gives you good support. These are ways to really kind of move through that shadow work. And also, tapping into this holistic healing event will also give you a lot of insight on how to do the shadow work as well, just by the information that you're going to receive from this healing event, but also some of the modalities. Maybe you can go into that sound healing with the intention to really have your intuition show you what shadow work is necessary to be done. Maybe you can go into the breath work later tonight with the same intention. And so this is going to give you that opportunity to do the work today, and also to replay that work as much as you need to from this point on, so that you can really make sure that you get through that, because you don't want to take any shadow work that you need to be done. You don't want to take that unfinished shadow work into the new year. And we're getting close to the new year. We're getting close to 2021. And this is really going to be a time for us to start the building of the new paradigms in our lives and in the world. 2020 was all about the clear vision, the 2020 vision that we needed to see what we needed to dismantle and destruct, and what we needed to disclose and reveal in order for us to have the information and wisdom to build anew. And next year is all about that building anew. So we need to do what we've got to do shadow work wise, so that we can be ready to build with a clean slate. Okay. So we're going to have that really showing up for us, not just this week, but also throughout the rest of the year. But this week is really when it's starting to be introduced more, because we're entering that Scorpio season. We're in the 1010 portal. We're in the thinning of the veil. So our spirit is speaking to us deeply. We're feeling energy more sensitively. Things are being triggered more often. And this is really important. I also encourage you with that to check out your moon sign, because I know a lot of you maybe know your sun sign, that's the one that most people know, but check out your moon sign, because your moon sign is going to really reflect the way in which you process emotions, the way in which your emotions react to things, the way you get triggered. And this is also going to help you reveal some of the shadow work that you might need to do. Because if you notice, like for me, I'm a Cancer moon, and I was actually just talking to Chad about this, because I was feeling like a little bit like I take things personally sometimes, like too personally. And that's very much a characteristic of the Cancer moon. And when I recognize being triggered by certain things with that sensitivity, I have to really check myself and say, okay, is this something that they've done that isn't okay? Or is this something that I'm just taking it wrong as? I'm just taking it too personally, because I know that's the shadow aspect of my Cancer moon. And then as that shows up more regularly, I'm like, okay, spirit, I hear you. I really got to work on this, like taking things too personally thing. So this is that opportunity to do the shadow work. And then you've got to explore, you've got to educate yourself. You've got to learn how to balance that extreme, or how to be more aware of it and wise with it, so that you can embody a new reaction, a new response. Okay. So keep this in mind. Check out your moon sign, because your moon sign will definitely show you a lot about your emotional body. Maybe you're an Aries moon, so you're quick to, getting upset. You're quick to temper. Or maybe, you're a Pisces moon, so maybe you're very sensitive as well, but you kind of hold it in. So lots of ways in which we process emotions showing up for the moon sign that we're in. Okay, so definitely, and feel free to share. I'm sure a lot of you have the same moons, and maybe you guys can formulate some community connection in that way to support each other and hold each other accountable for that shadow work and for that moon awareness, that moon sign awareness. All right, so we're going to have also a void space realization here. When we go into the dark, when we go into the shadow, also when we go into meditation and we get into that deep meditation where we're in just pitch black energy and it feels very empty, like nothingness, we're in the void space. Now, the void space is that kind of black hole energy. It's the black hole within us. And just as we are part of the cosmos, right? As above, so below. So we go internally into our inner cosmos. And I actually guided a meditation on the Starseed Facebook group that did just that yesterday. So if you want to check that meditation out, go to the Starseed Facebook group, join that, and you can watch the replay of that meditation. I'll put the description in the link I'll put the link in the description below. I never can say that right. I'll put the link in the description below for you to join the Starseed Facebook group if you're interested in that. But we go into the cosmos within ourselves, and part of that is the black hole, the void space. And in that space, it can feel kind of scary when we're, exploring our shadow, or when we're just in that empty place in meditation or within ourselves, or we're feeling that emotionally. But know that the void space is actually so beautiful and so powerful for creation. It's literally where things are birthed out of. It is the portal where things can be created from. And so it is this energy of, light coming from darkness, and creation coming from darkness, and the opportunity to manifest what you want from what you see that you don't want to experience anymore. And that is the beauty of the void space. So pay attention to that as well. We're going to have a lot of introductions and familiarity with the void space throughout this week as we continue into the thinning of the veil and the Halloween season, or the Samhain season. And this is going to be a really powerful energy for us to enjoy and create in, and not be afraid of. Because if we get afraid of that void space, we actually cut ourselves off from our ability to create from it. So when you're in that meditation, if you feel like you're, in a dark place, or an empty place, or something that feels kind of scary, relax into it and remind yourself that you are the light in that darkness, and that from your light, you can birth whatever you want. Maybe you want to connect with a passed on loved one from that place. Call them in, and maybe they'll come into that void space and speak to you, or connect to you, or you'll have a vision of them. Or if you want to call in your guides into that void space. If you want to call in your future home, or your future love, or your future success, call that in, because that's how you really create from the void space, okay? So how are we feeling? Let me know if that's resonating. Alyssa's here as well. Empress TT's here. Rena's here. Phil's here. Good to see all of you. Monique is here as well. Ooh, Sagittarius sun and Sagittarius moon. Ooh, that's powerful. And a Taurus rising. Yeah, if you know your rising sign, so the rising sign is who you're becoming, who you're stepping into. So that can be really fun to explore as well. Love, love, love this. Okay, so let's keep going with this. So in this awareness of the void space, of the shadow work, there comes this balancing of that duality with deep spiritual, meaningful, and enlightening experiences. So when we go into those depths, when we go into the void, when we go into the shadow, our reward for that work is the energy of light, the energy of enlightenment, the energy of, connection to deep spiritual experience, because we've done that work and now we're being gifted the wisdom, the awareness, and the support from the spirit world. So we're going to have a lot of deep spiritual experiences this week as well as you do the work. So that is your benefit. That's your incentive. That's your motivation to do that uncomfortable shadow work, or to sit in that void space. Because I've noticed from my meditations, when I let myself sit in meditation long enough to get to the void space, and then I let myself sit in meditation long enough to really feel the next level of that, there's always something super profound that comes through. Maybe it's a memory of something really beautiful that just made me realize how everything's connected, and I'm just crying and just in such gratitude. Or maybe it's a deep connection with a guide that comes through, or just a deep feeling of love and compassion and bliss and connection to the world that comes through. There's always some deep spiritual experience when we go deep into those shadows or those void space connections in such a palpable way. And when we go into it with the intention of connecting deeper to ourselves and bringing in more light and positive potential for ourselves by doing that work, we always are going to get it. And that's the beauty of the duality and the balance. And that's why it's so important to notice that this week, because it's showing up everywhere. And what a beautiful thing to see in synchronistic form. So on this kind of vibration of void space and shadow work, it's incredibly important to also have forgiveness and compassion, to stand firm in your intention and in your expression of forgiveness and compassion. And that is part of the balancing that void space, of that shadow work. If you're feeling, like you're seeing parts of yourself you didn't want to look at and it's uncomfortable to see, that you're maybe not proud of, you've got to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself and be compassionate with yourself. That's the balance. That's how to make sure you don't dip down so low into those shadow work experiences that you get consumed by it. You've got to keep that energy of forgiveness and compassion. That includes with other people. We talked about the Mercury retrograde starting last week, and how it's in the sign of Scorpio, and how truths are being revealed, and how some secrets are being revealed, and maybe even some things that are really dark, in your life with people are being revealed. And it's so important for us to stand in a place of compassion, to really take an opportunity to reflect on where that person is in their life, what may have triggered that type of behavior or that type of response or that type of expression, and really why it's coming out and what happened to them to express or to do such things. And that's the same for us. What did we experience that caused us to do those things that we weren't proud of? And how can we have love and compassion for that, and know that the experiences that caused it? And also when we do that, we recognize the purity of the person, that person wasn't always that way, that you weren't always that way, and that's not truly who you are, especially if you're doing the work to elevate your consciousness and to become your purest positive potential. That's your true self that's ambitious to becoming the best version of yourself you can be for the world and for yourself. So stand in forgiveness, stand in compassion, allow yourself to honor yourself, honor others, and honor the experiences of the shadow and the void that are showing up, so that you can really get all that you're meant to get from it. Because if you're not in that place of forgiveness and compassion, you're actually in a place of resistance and trigger and irritation, or just, frustration. And that pinches you off from the balance of the duality, from the wisdom of the spiritual experiences and the enlightened experience from that shadow work. And you don't want to pinch yourself off from that, because that's the beauty of it, right? You want to have that experience. So also, moving on from the shadow work stuff now, I want to dive into more of our body and more of our spirit body. And what I was getting from my guides, especially this AM when I was drinking my cacao and really connecting to the spirit of cacao, was this awareness of our chakras, and how important it was for us to really identify how our chakras are expressing themselves at this time, because it's the thinning of the veil, and because we're getting more and more deep into that 1010 portal and the thinning of the veil throughout this month. We're going to feel more sensitive to energy, and we're going to feel more sensitive to our intuition. And so what Spirit was really telling me today is that in that sensitivity, we're going to notice that certain chakras are really, really sensitive, they're really fragile, or they're really irritable, or that they're really open and really expressive and really divine, or that they're maybe shut down and unstimulated and uninspired. And so when we tap into our chakras, we're going to notice that, and we can feel it in our bodies physically. Sometimes you'll feel a tingle in the heart space, or a pain in the heart space, like a feeling of disappointment or sadness, or a feeling of opening in the heart space. That's your heart chakra telling you where it's at and what it's doing and how it's feeling. And then maybe we'll feel, something more emotionally. Maybe we'll feel insecure or scared or, unworthy. And that's our solar plexus kind of closing down and feeling really, really sensitive and really bothered, right? Or maybe we feel really proud and really courageous and really bold. That's our solar plexus in a place of really full expression, okay? So notice how your chakras are speaking to you. Notice how that feels for you. You can also even pay attention to your thoughts, because your thoughts will also express the voice of the chakra that's most dominant. So if you're constantly thinking about your ability to survive, or you're feeling really fearful and really want to make sure you're, able to support yourself and protect yourself right now, and that's all you're thinking about, then that means your root chakra is really activated and trying to get more positive potential. It's trying to, figure out that sense of independence and structure and support that the root chakra represents and needs. So that's your root chakra speaking to you, right? And you can calm it down by reminding it that it's safe, by reminding it that it's secure, by showing yourself that you're independent. And that's how you would balance that out. So pay attention to the way your chakras are showing up. This is a really big deal as well. And how they react to different stimulus. Because you might realize that even foods that you eat might really bother your heart center or bother your solar plexus or shut it down. Or maybe, you know, people that you're around really kind of knock you off your harmony or balance in your chakras, or that they, you know, help you activate more of your throat chakra or more of your heart chakra. So you'll notice how your chakras react to certain stimulus, and that will help you to learn them even more and get even more wise. And that is holistic healing. That is your ability to feel your body, to feel your mind, to feel your emotions, and to also feel the spiritual energetic vortexes that are related to them, and use all of that information to flow in harmony and purest positive potential in your life. So that is in itself holistic healing, and that can be such an easy way to start to embody the holistic healing of the chakras and of that awareness, okay? So you may need healing in the chakras, you may need cleansing in the chakras, you may need activations in the chakras, and you'll notice this through that awareness and reflection. And call on your intuition if you need a little help clarifying. Call on your guides and they will show up for you. Meditate on it. And we're actually going to do a little bit of this during my visualization, my self-healing visualization. So if this is something that's really resonating with what you feel like you need right now, then make sure to tune in at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time for my live visualization, because I'm going to be doing a lot of that work with you and guiding you through it, okay? And if you can't show up at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, that's okay. You can watch the replay tomorrow or whenever you're free, okay? So we're going to get into that as well, and that's going to be really helpful. And I'm feeling like the throat chakra has been really active for a lot of people. Of course, we've got the Mercury retrograde, so that makes sense. But really feeling into this awareness of how that all flows. So passionate actions produce more abundance and alignment this week, okay? The more we're passionate, the more we're excited, the more we're exhilarated, the more we do things that bring us joy and pleasure, the more abundance we're going to tap into. And this is why I titled this video, Prioritize Pleasure, because it's so important to prioritize pleasure right now, because when we do, there's going to be so much abundance and success and synchronicity that's going to guide us into all that we're meant to have right now, which is so beautiful. And it is still the harvest season. So this is your time to really expand in all the ways you can and gain all the abundance and all the success that you can right now, and to receive it, to open up to it. So you can do that by following your passion. And what better way, right? Everybody loves to follow their passion. You know, so many times we've been convinced in this world that following, you know, what we need to do or what we are told to do or what we are encouraged to do in work or life is, you know, how we're going to get the most abundance. But what we're passionate about is just going to lead us into, you know, something that's just not really successful. But that's not true. And that's not how things are going to be any longer. This is the new paradigm that we're stepping into. And right now, it's all about following our passions and really letting ourselves get used to that, so that we can make our passions our purpose and step into the full prosperity of that, okay? All right, movement of the body. Movement of the body is super important right now too. That kind of goes along with the chakra energy. So we'll also be doing a little movement in my visualization meditation. So get ready for that at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. But really it's about moving the body, because when we move the body, we start to circulate energy, blood, and just vibration through our body that may have been stuck or stagnant in our chakras or in other parts of our meridians, our energetic meridians within us. So this is also a healing energy, a holistic way to heal by just moving intuitively, allowing yourself to stretch regularly, allowing yourself to take walks regularly, not getting stuck in one place on the couch or at the, you know, table or desk, wherever you're working from. Making sure you're moving, you know, even if that means going for a drive real quick, you know, and not being in the house for just, you know, 30 minutes to an hour, just allowing yourself to move your body. So, so important. And we're here to change the world. That's my next message. I really want to reaffirm this for everyone and validate this for everyone, because a lot of people have been feeling that their purpose is showing up for them, that they're meant to change and heal the world or enlighten the world or bring more positive vibration to the world. And a lot of light workers, healers, star seeds are all being called, indigos are all being called to their purpose and their service to the world to help the world expand into this new paradigm. So if you feel like that's you, if you've been having some ideas and inspiration to help serve humanity or to serve your clientele and your business more in a more high vibrational way, or to step into a new area of focus in your work where you're doing more spiritual or healing work or light work, then trust it. Because this is spirit really calling you to your role in this big transformation in the world and on the planet right now into a higher vibration from the 3D to the 5D. And so we are kind of cutting cords with things that represent the 3D and starting to introduce more things into the 5D. So if you're going through that, if you're in between worlds right now in that experience, it can feel a little chaotic, a little confusing, a little stressful, a little overwhelming, but breathe through it. And know that the more you follow your passion, the more you trust in the ideas and inspiration you're getting from your intuition, the more you can really move through with grace and navigate that beautifully. So we are resurrecting our purpose. We are resurrecting our passions. We are resurrecting our ability to heal ourselves and our awareness of how we can heal and how we can activate ourselves. And so this is such a beautiful energy that does bring in such deep pleasure, because that joy, that bliss of being able to give and in ways that we're passionate about, that light us up, is such a deep energy. It's such a pleasurable energy. And that's really the positive loop of experience that we're going to continue to have as we follow our purpose, as we clear the shadow, or at least face the shadow and balance it out. And as we, tap in more to our prioritization of pleasure. And we're also going to feel very sensual this week. There's a lot of passionate energy, and with the movement of the body, with the healing, with the energy of that flow, we're going to feel sensual. We're going to feel that sexual magic energy show up as well. We're going to feel the ability of that sacred energy within ourselves showing up also, because that brings in the energy of creation and manifestation even more. So we want to enjoy that and embrace it, and not to shame it or shun it, but to really honor the way in which that comes through. Again, prioritizing pleasure. I already talked about that. The last part about the spirit messages that I got is from yesterday's Starseed meditation, which I told you all about already a little bit. But if you want to go check out that Starseed meditation, go to the link in the descriptions of my weekly readings, and you can go join that Facebook group and watch the replay, because it was a powerful meditation. And the cards that we pulled was generosity from the Lyrans, which we pulled last week when we, at the end of the meditation. So it was kind of what we launched off from last week, and then we started with it. Just the Lyrans coming through saying, yep, this is the work we're doing now from what we told you we would be jumping into next. And really the energy of generosity is the ability to give, the ability to serve humanity in the way that we know we're meant to. And the Orions came through really showing this awareness of the emptiness in humanity, the gaps in humanity, the things that humanity needs to fulfill a higher vibration. And that we as starseeds, lightworkers, healers, intuitives, all of us who are really focused on love and light and being our best selves, it's all of us that are coming together to fill those voids. And it's our generosity to give our vibration and to express our purpose and to serve the world that actually fills that emptiness in humanity. And then we ended with the force of attraction from the Orions, letting us know that because we did that meditation and worked through those things, we're now going to activate even more force of attraction towards what we need and what is needed from us for others and for humanity. So this beautiful magnetism showing up, okay? All right, everybody. And, allow yourself to activate your ability to serve humanity. If you've been resisting it, or if you really don't know how you're meant to serve, go into meditation. Call on your inner being, call on your higher self, journal about what you're passionate about and how that may be something that the world needs right now. And let that be discovered for you and activated within you even deeper so you can really step into that work, okay? So powerful. And I also want to mention and remind everybody that this month we're still in that Empress energy from the annual reading, the card that I pulled for October. And as we dive deeper into October this week, we're going to feel even more of that spiritual connection to our Empress selves, our divine feminine, our intuition, our nurturance, our care, our compassion, our connection, and our creative force. And the Empress is really holding a container for our action, for the masculine parts of ourselves to act and embody those things and to move forward in it and to protect and honor the energy and intuition that comes through and to really join in harmony and beautiful support of that. So we're seeing that blend so well together, especially with the Mars retrograde, the Mercury retrograde being two very masculine planets, and then that Empress energy holding such a beautiful container for us to be intuitive and wise through those times. Just so powerful. So how's everybody feeling with this? Yes, shadow work is like mining. You dig out a lot of dirt to find the gems. Yes, Phil, I love that analogy. So true. Oh my gosh, growth is where it starts is here as well. So good to see you. Jackie Vo is here. Kona TV is here. So good to see all of you. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So let's keep going. We're going to finish up with the astrological influences of this week, October 18th to October 25th. And then we'll also pull some cards to summarize this reading. So let's talk about the astrology real quick. For tomorrow, October 19th, we're going to see that Mars retrograde squares Jupiter. And what that means is that we're going to feel the way in which we've been a little bit more assessive of our actions and a little bit more redirective with our actions, or even sometimes halted in our actions. We're going to notice how that is going to start to alleviate. Jupiter squaring Mars retrograde is saying that we're starting to heal the parts that have been out of alignment that have caused the Mars retrograde to kind of affect those actions, and that Jupiter is now ready to help us expand and move forward and not have so many limitations on our actions because we're learning and we're growing. So if you haven't been learning from the ways in which your actions have been redirected or halted or needing reassessment, then you may feel a lot of contrast tomorrow as Jupiter tries to help you expand, but your spirit says, nope, you haven't done the work to expand yet. So notice that. But if you've been doing the work to really assess what you know you need to assess, to honor things that have stopped or have kind of caused a pause for you to reevaluate things, you're going to actually feel the benefit of that square Jupiter tomorrow, and you're going to feel some of the limitations alleviate so that you can move forward with your intuition and wisdom that you've gained. And to really create such a more fine-tuned action from that place, which is beautiful. So we're healing our expressions with aligned action. We're allowing ourselves to move forward in a aligned, intuitive, centered, and balanced way versus when we were out of balance in the way we were moving forward before the Mars retrograde, before it showed us what was needed, okay? Really beautiful energy there. We're also going to feel more courage and confidence and feel really energized in our movement forward because we're going to feel so much more supported by spirit and so much more sure of ourselves because of the redirections we've made. Then Venus trines Jupiter tomorrow. So this is going to add more pleasure energy. That's why we're prioritizing pleasure, because Venus is really ready to help us identify our pleasure and really trust our pleasure. And then Jupiter is here to expand it and provide abundance and support it in such a big way. So we're going to feel expansion of pleasure, of love, of passion, and of beauty. We're going to feel really good about that on tomorrow for the 19th. And then the last astrological influence of this day, which is pretty big. I mean, we've got a lot of astrological influences just on Monday, tomorrow. The last one is Mercury retrograde opposite Uranus. And that is really where our higher mind and lower mind are coming together. And they're going to be a little combative. They're going to be a little bit, kind of trying to sort things out. Maybe you'll feel some interpersonal conflict where, your spiritual mind or your higher vibrational mind is kind of trying to convince the more, shadow mind or human mind to understand, why or what is needed at this time. And that's going to be really powerful for us to tap into. So allow yourself to notice that if you're feeling that, that's all it is. It's just this kind of combative energy within that needs balance, those dualistic energies looking for balance in the spectrum, those extremes kind of trying to find the middle space. And as you allow that to happen and do what you need to do to make that happen, everything else will fall into alignment, okay? And then on the 21st, which is Wednesday, Venus sextiles Pluto. This is the energy of love, bringing wisdom and pleasure, and that we're going to also maybe feel some resurrections of our true self coming through from that, or of our true connections and love, and just such a beautiful energy of wisdom and spiritual connection there. And then on the 24th, which is Saturday, we're going to feel a bit of a portal opening up with the 11 energy for the numerological value of that day. We're going to feel a little bit more of a intensity of that portal as we enter the last week of the thinning, or I shouldn't say the last week, because the last week is really like the first or second week of November, but this is going to be the peak. We're going to go into the peak of the thinning of the veil, the peak of our ability to connect to spirit as we move into it on the 24th. And Venus trines Saturn that day, which is going to give us more of a responsibility in the wisdom that we gained from Wednesday on love, and really allow us to be accountable for that wisdom and to embody that wisdom and take responsibility for enacting it. Because if we don't, we may see some things kind of push back on us. So moving with loving expansion and maintaining that loving expansion. This really is like when, you have like a conversation with your loved one and you're like, hey, I really need this from now on, for us to interact this way from now on, or for you to consider me in this way from now on, because it's really important to me. And then they do it, right, for like maybe a couple days, and then they're back to the old ways. No. Saturday with Venus and trine Saturn is going to be like, no, we're not going to just fall off from the, commitment you made to be more, wise in love and considerate in love. You've got to maintain that expansion. You can't just do it for a couple days and stop the progress. You've got to maintain it. And Saturn's going to really hold us accountable and responsible for that. So we're going to see that in our experience as well. So we've got to show up. We've got to show up for the ones we love. We've got to show up for ourselves in order for us to maintain that loving expansion. Okay. And then on Sunday, when we join again for another weekly reading live, we will have the Sun conjunct Mercury Retrograde, which is really where we're going to start focusing more on clarity, on the ability to express in a more enlightened way. That Mercury Retrograde is going to kind of start to feel a little bit lighter, less lesson forward and more reflection forward. So that's going to be really beautiful. And also on the 25th, just as a quick announcement, if you haven't heard, I will be hosting a beautiful cacao ceremony, my first virtual cacao ceremony that I'll be hosting since I graduated last night as a facilitator of cacao. And I'm super excited for this. This is going to be a thinning of the veil cacao ceremony. I actually was a part of a thinning of the veil cacao ceremony last year when I was in Belize for my thinning of the veil retreat. And it was amazing. And I didn't host the cacao ceremony in regards to serving the cacao, but I was there to channel and connect and serve in my own gifts and of intuition. It was such a beautiful, beautiful energy. And it was so beautiful to connect with the spirit of cacao, a year ago, and in Belize, in a place where cacao is actually naturally grown and naturally, rooted in the earth. And then now, a year later, I'm getting chills because I'm actually just having this realization. A year later, I'm now facilitating cacao ceremonies and doing one virtually next week. And this is going to be a free cacao ceremony, especially since it's my first one. I just want to offer this as service to everybody, and to really honor the spirit of cacao as I enter into this role as a facilitator of it. And really, she's the facilitator. That's what I've learned most from my training. And it's so true because I channel her so easily. She just lets me just open up and receive her. And I'm so excited to lead and to share that connection with all of you. So if you've already gotten your cacao, good job. You heard the announcements a couple of weeks ago and the importance of trying to get it as soon as you can so you have it for the ceremony. But if you haven't gotten it yet, you should still be able to have it delivered in time, because usually when I order it off of the Fly Cacao website, FLYKAKAO.com. Off of that website, I buy the signature blend 1 pound bag. It's only like $33 or something. And it usually comes within a week. So if you buy it now, it should come by next Sunday for the cacao ceremony that I'll be hosting. And I am going to host it on Zoom. I know I've kind of mentioned that I might host it on YouTube, but I feel like I really want to give us all an opportunity to connect and maybe share a little bit about what the cacao has done for us and how you experience it towards the end of the ceremony. So we can't do as many shares on YouTube. So I really want to give us the opportunity to do that in a Zoom call. So I will be posting the meeting ID in the description of this video so you can join for that cacao ceremony. Give me like a day probably to put that in there, because today's healing event, I'm busy with all of that, but I will be able to edit that in really shortly after this event. And then also you can join the Vibes e-list if you want to have constant reminders of not just the cacao ceremony coming up, but all the events I host. And that might be an even more productive way for you as the audience to really get all the information for the cacao ceremony, but also make sure that you don't miss any of the other events, okay? And the description, or the link will be in the description of this video to join the e-list as well. So either way, whether you join the e-list or just use the meeting ID that I post in a day or so in this description, either way, you'll be able to connect to the cacao ceremony. And again, it's free, and it will be on the 25th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, okay? And it's gonna be such a great time. And you don't have to have cacao or even participate in drinking the cacao in order to be a part of this event or experience the spirit of it, because we'll be bringing the spirit into the event no matter what. So don't feel pressured to get it right away. Don't feel pressured to drink it if you're not all the way sure about it yet, but definitely I encourage you, if it's resonating with you, to get some and to get ready to enjoy it. And even, sip some, try some. If you've already gotten yours, try some throughout this week. Sit with the cup, hold it to your heart. Let the spirit of cacao connect with you. It is a mild plant medicine. It's not going to make you hallucinate or get all weird. It really is just going to open the heart. It might make your heart, race a little bit. So if that's something that, is not good for you for whatever medical health is or whatever, make sure to ask your doctor. But it really is just kind of a little bit of a stimulant in regards to the heart space, opening the heart and increasing blood flow. So just check with your doctor if you feel like there's something medically that you might need to observe, be careful of. You know your body and listen to it. But this is going to be such a beautiful time for us to connect with the spirit of cacao and that grounding energy. And that'll be on the 25th, okay? So 5 to 7 p.m. Central Time or Mountain Standard Time, on the 25th. All right, you all, let's go ahead and pull some cards to end this reading out. How are you all feeling? Yes. So much love to you, Lisa, as well. Lisa's actually the reason why I was in Belize. She is such a powerful woman and healer, such a beautiful healer, and all that she does, just her vibration is healing. I know, Lisa, we talked about that when we did your reading, and it's so true. And it's funny, I didn't even think about your reading until I said that. And I'm like, yeah, that came up in her reading. It really is. Her vibration is just so healing and activating. So thanks, Lisa, for joining. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pull our cards. We're going to start with the beginning of the week card. And I'm pulling from the Rumi deck. Ooh, I haven't pulled from this deck in a while. It's got a lot of energy today. Very poetic energy, of course, with Rumi. Very spiritual, very elevated, very kind of like parable energies. Let's see what the beginning of the week is coming forth with that. Beautiful. Then we've got the Healing with the Angels deck for the middle of the week. This is my very first deck of cards. Still so powerful and so resonant. And then we're going to end with that beautiful, sensual, divine, feminine, empress, romantic energy of the Magdalene deck for the end of the week. Oh, this is so our reading today. I just love when the cards summarize so beautifully. I mean, they always do, but especially today, this week, they're doing it. And of course, with the thinning of the veil, it makes sense. Look at this beautiful Rumi card. It is the Garden of Delights. Enter the Garden of Delights. Look how gorgeous that card is. And this card is really, again, encouraging us to prioritize our pleasure. Enter the Garden of Delight. Identify what brings you delight, what brings you joy, what brings you passion, what brings you inspiration, and go play. Go to that garden, whether it's an experience, a memory, a activity, a creative expression, a specific place, or a group of friends that you connect with. Whatever brings you joy and delight and pleasure, go do that. Go do that and really allow yourself to activate that energy, because that's going to bring you more abundance, like I said in the spirit messages, more activation of your potential to manifest your reality and what you desire, and more of a high vibration to step into your purest positive potential. So enter the Garden of Delights, especially in the beginning of this week, okay? Look how gorgeous that card is and look how clear it looks. I'm so happy. Ah, so beautiful. Middle of the week card, you can't write this. Healing. This is our opportunity to heal. And what are we doing today? We're shining light on holistic healing. So tap into the events this week, or today, I should say, and tap into them throughout the rest of the week, because they are always going to be available on the replays. And this is your opportunity to heal and to receive the healing. Come on, camera. Focus. But this is your opportunity to receive the healing, okay? And just align with it. And this is such a powerful energy for us to tap into today. And I'm so grateful to be bringing forth this holistic healing event, because this is our opportunity to enjoy the many different ways to heal and to recognize what parts of us need healing right now, in that shadow work that we're meant to do, in the connection to the spirit world that helps us see more guidance in our healing, and in our ability to just be reflective and go within to find that awareness and to actually do the work. And then finally, we've got the Miracles card. This is from the Magdalene deck. Look how powerful. We've got the sun there. We've got the Ankh. We've got the Tree of Life. We've got the Divine Eye. And this is our ability to recognize how our healing, how our shadow work, how our pursuit of pleasure and our prioritization of pleasure allows us to experience miracles. Yes, miracles are on the way. We are in the harvest season. We are in abundance. We are creating our reality, and we are being activated in our superpowers and in our passions and purposes on a soul level. This is miraculous, and this is what we're going to experience in the end of the week even more as we do the work this week to integrate and to journey within ourselves to manifest those miracles. All right? Powerful card from our divine feminine Magdalene with the Empress Energy. So quick review. Garden of Delights. Prioritize your pleasure. Make sure you're healing and not ignoring healing, doing that shadow work. And if you do those things, you will experience miracles. It will be abundant and prosperous for you. Powerful. We're giving you literal guides to how to live and move through our experience in the best way. I mean, it's just such good. It's like such good energy. It's so juicy. It's so good. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope you can continue to enjoy this Shining Light on Holistic Healing event. We've got a lot more segments coming up. We've got part 1 of the roundtable discussion with all of the amazing leaders in light that I brought forth for this event, talking about what holistic healing means for them and answering really powerful questions about holistic healing and healing in general. And we're going to have that showing up as a premiere in about 45 minutes. So you've got a little time to go get some lunch and to chill and relax and maybe do something that brings you pleasure and joy, and then tap into even more pleasure and joy in watching that part 1 of the roundtable. And then again, if you want to get the rest of the schedule and the times of all the events that are showing up for you on this day for this event, then go to the community tab on this YouTube channel, and you will see a full schedule of today's events, okay? And again, all of these events will be available on replay. So you'll be able to tap into them repeatedly from this point forward. And I also encourage you, go check out the Shining Light on Revolution event if you missed it in June, because I did create a playlist on this channel for that event with all of the events that showed up for that series as well. I was just watching the closing ceremony with Lotus Sky and Paola from that event last night, and I was just feeling the vibration and the healing from it. It's just still so resonant. All of those events are timeless, just like these ones will be. So I'm super happy to be able to bring this forward for all of you to enjoy as much as you'd like, whenever you'd like. And please share these things with the people that you love, the people that you feel like need some holistic healing or need to learn about what that means, so that they maybe can open their eyes to new ways of healing. And this is really a powerful time to do that, because in our world right now, we are going through so much as a collective that can be pretty traumatic and can really trigger the healing that we need. And we want to listen. We don't want to sweep it under the rug, right? We really want to, and we want to serve. We want to serve others in our life who may not even know that these things are out there for them to explore and experience. So please share these videos with whoever you feel like is resonant with them or will be, and continue to watch them. And make sure to tap the like, comment, subscribe, tap the bell for notifications so that you never miss any of these videos and content. And I will see you later today for a visualization meditation. It's going to be a self-healing visualization meditation, and that will be at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. But go check out that schedule on the community tab, because there's so many other events to tap into, and I will see you there. I love you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Good to see you all, and I will see you next week. Peace.